So I've got all 66 cards, and I believe they're in order. Yeah, there may be some out of order, but I've got all 66 of them. This is the first series. I don't know about you guys, but I never was a big fan of the Series 2 or Series 3. I just thought that they used a lot of the really good shots in Series 1, a lot of the iconic shots, and but I would like to get Series 2 and 3 again. I actually got these. I paid probably close to $100, but I got it a complete kit, and it still smells like it has that Kiss card smell when you open the little case that I keep them in. It has that smell, and some of them you can even catch you can tell that they were up against the stick of gum that was in there because you can see the residue of gum on them. But yeah, we'll start. I don't know where it starts getting blurry at, but there's number one, Paul, and
That's
on the
not a
back.
bad deal, $100.
I know, yeah, that's Series 2 and 3, Brant. Were they done in 78 also, or what years were those done?
I don't think they were done in '78, but I could be wrong. I need to
Okay.
look that up. But
Okay.
yeah, this is Paul. We are in essence with the audience. We feel that we represent the looseness that everyone can identify with. I think we're extensions of everything that has happened before us. We're the children of the last generation of rock, says Paul. So that's Paul's card there, and so it's a side card. So it'll go. We'll just go ahead and put the side card right there. And then number two, I always loved Peter's drum set. I'm trying to figure out where. I always loved his drum set, and so this is a info card. Peter theorizes Kiss's stage theatric as this: we do what comes to us naturally. We work on creating an experience at our concerts. We concentrate on that evening's performance and the idea that we do our act for fun, all the way to the bank. But yeah, put that one there. And then another one of Peter. I think it's funny how they really didn't have a rhyme or reason to, you start off with a Paul and then hit two Peters. They really didn't have a rhyme or reason to it. Hold on. Let's see if I can turn white balance off real quick. It's like it's trying to brightness balance or white balance or something. Let me see if I can turn that off. Yeah, it's trying to. I think it's trying to white balance. All right. It could be the software. It could be the StreamYard software trying to correct to itself. There's Peter. And we got Peter's face on the back. So I don't know exactly where that goes, but we'll kind of put it here in the center for now until I think it's, he's kind of in around here. I think it's Gene, Ace, Peter, then Paul, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll figure it out. I always liked this shot of Gene. It was always cool. Those live action shots. And I love these costumes. They're my favorite costumes, favorite era. The Love Gun. Gene says Gene's passionate love for the macabre, science fiction, and old Lon Chaney movies played a large role in developing his stage persona. These personal fantasies flights take shape of all that's sinister and dark as he stalks the stage like a space-age vampire. So I just think that's funny. Even in '79, they weren't really in this. They weren't calling him the demon. They were calling him a space-age vampire, born under the sign of Virgo. And then I always loved this shot of Ace.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Yeah. And this is an ace card. An interplanetary life which exceeds time, space, and light is the motivation behind Ace, charged with the hope for his future in space. He feels within his being that someday his wish will come true and explains it like this: I eat, sleep, and drink my character. It is my fantasy to go to another planet. I was reading some old interview things by Ace, some of the old blurbs he did, and Ace was really attuned to what could possibly happen in the future. He was probably the most interested in technology of all the members, and he had um, a real grasp on what potentially could happen in the future in his lifetime. This is one of the cards that I don't know if I can catch it right, but you can see the gum residue on it. It's right across here. It's a little white right across Paul's chest there. It's card number 6. And this is Ace. I think Ace is right in here somewhere. And then a stage shot, a closing, there it is. Closing shot there. And this is part of Gene. Like I said, I think Gene's over. Gene may be over here. I may be thinking about it wrong. It may be Ace, Peter, Paul, and Gene.
And Peter
Next
would
card.
be crouching, wouldn't he? Wasn't Peter crouching in that shot?
Yeah, he's kind of bending over. Ace is kind of leaning over too. Ace is probably going to end up being right around here. We'll probably be able to fill it in as we get more. This always was a good shot of Gene. I always liked that. And this is Ace, and I have no idea where this is going to be yet. But I know it's Ace. It looks like a leg. Looks like a leg or arm, or I don't know. So we'll put it over here with Ace. We'll put it in the Ace pile for now.
Or maybe a space bear.
It's a space bear. Another live shot. I used to stare at these cards, man, and I had a microscope or like a magnifying glass that I used when I was in like middle school or whatever. And I used to look at these things under that magnification to the point where it broke it up into the dots. This is Gene's leg. You can see gum residue on there. You can see it really good there where the stick of gum was. Right there beside my thumb going through here.
No way to get that off, I suppose.
I'm not going to try to get it off. I mean, it's been on there all these years. I'm not going to try to do anything to get it off. This is probably going to be somewhere around in there, maybe. And then we have number 10. And good shot of Paul on one of the risers. And this could go anywhere. I mean, literally, it could go anywhere. So I'm just going to set it off to the side. And I love this. I love this shot of Gene.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I always loved those Mylar background shots.
That may be my favorite when I had those cards, but I don't have them anymore.
Yeah. That was awesome. And this is going to be a corner somewhere. And I do know that the cards... this will help us. I know that the cards stand up, going like they make the puzzle standing up. So this is either going to be a bottom or it's going to be a top. And this, since they stand up, this is going to be a corner. It's either going to be a corner like here or a corner down here. It's going to end up being a corner somewhere. So I'll just put that one there for now. Because I know they don't lay this way. None of them lay that way. They all stand straight up. Here's another Gene live action photo, and you can see the residue there on the card. But that's a good photo of Gene. And we got Peter's crotch in this one. So that's going to go somewhere around in there, maybe. Then They always say, can you hear a picture? Can you hear a picture? I want to see show of hands. Who can hear this picture?
Yeah, immediately.
Yep.
I see that picture and I hear Beth. I hear you calling.
I hear hooligan.
Oh, you hear hooligan? Because he used to sway like that when he sung it, and so we got another Gene leg here, and don't quite line up with that one. I don't think. Maybe no, don't quite line up with that one. So, but we got a Gene leg here. And then Paul, I always thought that was an interesting picture of Paul. Try to get that in there. Trying to catch the glare off of it. I don't know. It just looks like his hair's falling. And we got part of the logo here. I'm probably too high up because this thing actually is this photo. This is going to go from here to here all the way down to like my finger goes off the screen like right about here, and I think there's actually room for another line down here at the bottom, but I figure it's going to be the border and maybe the very tail end of their feet, so it's not that important. I'll pan the camera when I get done. Another good shot of Ace on his knees from the Love Gun. It's interesting, a lot of the live shots are from Love Gun, Alive 2 era. And then we got Gene's face. They're part of it. So we'll put that up there. I think these are all going to end up needing to move down. And then we have Paul. Just a side shot of Paul. Not the best picture in my opinion. And then we have, I believe this is going to be part of Gene. You can see a little bit of the wing there. So I'm thinking that's going to be somewhere over in this area, around there maybe. Good picture of Peter.
Yeah.
I used to fantasize over his drums, man. His drums was just so awesome. Back here, so I'm just going to set it over here. I always loved these shots where they were in the different colors. Red on this one, and the next one is Ace. Spoiler alert: the next one's Ace, and it's one of my favorite Ace cards from this. It's one of my favorite Ace cards from here. There's Gene's crotch, so we'll put that somewhere around in there. And all these next two are really good Ace ones, but this is one of my favorite Ace.
Yeah,
that's so. I love it. That's so good. And we have the top IS. So I think that's going to go right around there. So that's the top. And that's that right there. This is not, oh man, these are several of Ace. So I said there's just no rhyme or reason to it. That's a great one. Love that. And
I guess with that background, was that some sort of photo shoot they did?
Yeah, that was a photo shoot. You can find that. I can't remember who shot those. Maybe
they all seem to be great.
Yeah, it is really good. It's one of the iconic ones, like the Cube photo shoot and this photo shoot are two of the. I think it's called the Mylar, because that's basically a piece of Mylar behind them that's just catching all kinds of different reflections and colors. But it's if you just Google Kiss Mylar cover photo shoot, there's a lot of good ones from this one. So this is a corner. So I'm going to stick it up here. And I'll put this in here just so we start to have some kind of simile. This is another ace one. I mean, how many aces is that in a row now? But that's an awesome. I picture him doing the Shock Me solo right there, doing that bend like a. He just because he would just take his hand off the guitar and just move the whole guitar, doing that bend during that part of the solo. And we got another Ace card. Ace made his vocal debut with his song "Shock Me" on the Love Gun album, armed with a guitar that spews forth a haze of smoke. It leaves little doubt that he will someday also make his debut on another planet. So, and I think there's enough to border both sides. I think they border down both sides, if I'm not mistaken. And then yet another ace card. This is number 22. And I think they could have turned that and cropped that a little bit. I think they could have done that, turned that this way, but it is a good stage shot. And this is Paul's hand and part of Peter's leg. So this is going to go right here. So that gives us a little bit of what we got going on down here. This is a genuine. And I can hear, they call me. That's what I hear when I see that picture. Or it looks like he's slapping the middle of a, oh yeah. Looks like he's in the middle. Looks like he's in the middle of one of those. And I believe this is going to be this top corner up here.
Fits like a glove.
Yep.
It must be love. It's like a glove. Here's another one of those stage shots with just all the color in it that I just think is so awesome. Ace and Paul. And, whoops. And I try to be careful with these things because, you know, they are not dinged by corners. If you look at the corners on these things, they're not dinged, they're not worn, they're not rippled, they're not tore, they're not folded, they're not nothing. And just dropping that gave it just a little bit of a ding right there on the corner.
Yeah.
So I try to be careful with them. And you guys can go look on eBay. I shared this with some friends of mine that's I in a chat group with. I was thinking about for Patreons making a chat group, like a Discord chat group where we can chat about KISS things during the day or whenever, whatever, so we can all stay closer together, use that as a Patreon advantage. But if you go on eBay, there's an uncut Donruss Series 1 uncut. Like it is not, it's uncut, $2,500 uncut. And I was talking to some friends of mine about how we could go in fours and buy it. You know, we could split. And I said, and then it could spend 3 months out of the year. It's each one of ours house. And the one guy said, you wouldn't cut it up into quarters? And I said, no, I wouldn't cut it into quarters. And the guy said, well, I wouldn't want to, I'd be afraid about cutting it straight. And my other friend said, I don't know, man. Have you seen the way some of those cards was cut? Here's a good example. Look at this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See how bad that cut is?
Yeah.
That reminds me of getting business cards done. And I know what it's like to try and use those cutting machines, and you can't always get it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes a big difference with baseball cards too, and those things when they're not cut. Like,
especially when you see a border, then you notice it.
yeah.
More.
Yeah.
And Brant, I have my cards out, and my card, that same one, is cut bad on mine also.
Oh, so it's almost like maybe the actual print itself was laid down crooked.
Maybe.
And it's the cut is straight, but the print itself is crooked.
It could be. That could be, yeah.
That's entirely possible because, you know, they had this was just one big back thing, and then these were printed, but the things had to be laid out, and they could have been some just laid sideways a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What card was that? 24.
24.
24?
24.
Yeah, 24. It'd be weird, Jesse, if yours is cut weird too. Because if yours is cut weird, then that confirms it.
I don't have my original set that I bought in '78 or whenever they came out, but I have one I bought off eBay about 3 or 4 years ago here.
Yeah, I bought this one off eBay. If this was my original, it would not look this good.
Yeah.
I had so many of these that there was one complete series I had that I actually laid out and scotch taped it all together and then hung it on my poster, hung it on my wall like a poster.
What number was that? 24. 24. Okay.
I always like this one of Peter.
Yeah.
It's real cool. And this is just the top somewhere, so I'm just going to put it.
I'm so glad there's no Tommy shots cards.
Right.
Yeah, mine's cut pretty close to the top as well.
So it must be a flaw with that particular card that
It's pretty straight, but it's right up against the top almost. Not much white border.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this gene.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I love that. But if you look at this one, it's actually off center to the right.
Yeah.
So if y'all have a 26, y'all's might be off center to the right as well. That's a 26, and this is Paul's.
It seems to me that they would print it on a large sheet and then they have to cut it. So it seems like the cutting must be off when they stack them all.
Yeah, well, if you, like I said, if you go and you look at that on eBay, if you go look it up after we get done or whatever, and you look at the, these are just all like, they look exactly like if I was to get this done, if I was able to flip it over, that's how they look. They're printed. So they didn't print out sheets of a bunch of these and then cut them, and then print out sheets of a bunch of these and then cut them. They printed out a sheet, and all the individual cards were on the back.
Yeah.
So, oh man, when I get into these, man, that smell just starts coming out so much. All right, that's a good shot of Gene. Number 27. This is another Gene card. Gene, a notorious fire-breathing reptilian. He's a reptilian now. And bass guitarist extraordinaire, has established himself as one of the driving forces behind Kiss's dynamic visual appeal. His bass guitar quivers the message of his fearsome power.
Never heard him called a reptilian before.
All right, and here's Paul. The next card I think is really weird, really strange. Here's one of Paul, and I always thought it was real interesting when you saw shots of Paul and you barely got to see his star. He almost just looked like a mime without it. Paul Stanley. Paul's irresistible power of love and passion reaches all. His impression of the unique image that holds Kiss fans spellbound is this: we feel our whole image is based on the use of imagination. All right. I don't know if you can see. No, see, that's getting under my name there. But all right, this card, I always thought this card was very weird. They cropped off Peter. And I think that is the same photo shoot that this picture comes from. Oh. I think it is this same photo shoot. But I just think it is so weird. I'm telling you right now, Peter, I know they said he was a little bit of a pain to work with back in the day. And I imagine Gene and Paul wasn't a piece of, a walk in the park or a Sunday drive to work with either. But if I was in Kiss and I saw this card, I'd be pissed.
I wouldn't want to be cropped out.
I'd be pissed, man. All right, so we got the K right here. Yeah. All right. And then another shot of Paul. Live shot. Yellow. Number 30. And okay, it's starting to come together here a little bit. Now we've got, I'll show you. Let's see it close. This is Peter's waist and Ace's arm right here. So that's going to be right there. Still trying to figure out where this is going. I think it's going to be Ace's leg. I think this is actually going to be down around here somewhere. Paul on the stairs. Those amazing Love Gun stairs. Mm-hmm. I wish they would have replicated the Love Gun stage just in a larger fashion, but they would have gave a big throwback to the Love Gun stage on the last tour. Paul, a Capricorn, the illustrious Cupid of rock and roll and the hypnotic master of rhythm guitar, finds himself strutting through the streets of millions as a titillating component of Kiss's sensuous message. Whew, man, laying it on thick. All right. Oh, this is good. This is a good one, Gene. I always love this. There's a lot of those photos. There's a lot of different photos of this, and some of them they zoom back, and you can see he had like a green background behind him with that coffin, and that right there. I'm just like, yeah, you're trying to be a vampire at this point in time. You're trying to be a vampire.
Whatever that wood thing is, it always reminded me of something that resembled the elder.
Yeah, it's like a miniature casket. It's almost like a baby-sized casket. But we got Gene's face here. So we got Gene going in there. I think Gene's actually further up. I think Gene's actually going to be a little further up here, but I'll leave him where he's at for now. Another shot of Peter playing the drums. We're about halfway through now. We're at card 33. Peter playing the drums. Got a border, so we'll stick it over here somewhere. I've seen this shot of Paul many, many times. It's a very popular shot. Seen it in magazines, on cards and stuff back in the day. Got the very bottom of Peter's legs down here. So that's going to go down here. You can't quite see it. It goes off camera, but it's straight down from this one right here. Then we have another one of Paul. I remember when I was a kid thinking, why would you have a card that has Gene on the back and you flip it over and it's got Ace on the front? You know, be like, oh, this is a Paul card, so it should be part of Paul. That's just the way an 8-year-old, 9-year-old thought. We got another border here, so we'll stick it up here. $36. Yeah, my cards are so unmessed with, they actually kind of stick together. Peter, all red behind the drums. And then another Peter card. Peter, a Sagittarius, joined the group in the spring of 1972. He makes his home in Brooklyn. Kiss's first ballad was written and sung by Peter and Stan Pendridge. His performance is an all-out effort of tremendous energy and instinct. So that goes over there. This is a real popular, I think that a lot of these are staged, but this is a real popular photo shoot. I've seen a lot of photos from this, and it's really personified with them being very well lit in the front, and then just the color, having all the colors on the back. Usually the difference between a live shot and a stage live shot is lighting. If they are drenched in the same color stage light, it has a typical tendency to be staged, and if or it has a tendency to be real. And if they're really well lit from the front, it has a tendency to be staged. So that's I'm just going to stick it over here. And we're going to have another Paul on the back here. So this is another one. I think that's maybe from that same shoot. You can see they're very well lit, not too sweaty. Makeup's not really messed up. And this is Paul's garter, which I always thought it was weird that Paul wore a garter. I mean, I didn't think it was weird when I was a kid, but it's like, who wears garters? Women do. It just doesn't make sense. Now that I've gotten older, I'm like, Paul, why did you wear a garter? I don't know, man.
Made sense at the time.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is going to be Gene's leg that's going to go right here. And I think this other Gene's leg is somehow going to go right about right here. And I think that's going to put Gene's crotch about right here, which is going to put Gene up to about right there, I believe. We'll see. All right. Peter behind the drums. That's how all Peters are always coming behind the drums. Peter expresses his feline instincts by the lines and whiskers he paints on his face as the drummer behind the solid backbeat of Peter is the solid backbeat behind Kiss's sound. They put sound in quotation marks. It's a good one of Gene. Once again, I think it's a staged live, but still, it's good. And we got Paul's face with the reverse star because Paul didn't paint his thing on the wrong guy. They reversed the print. They reversed the shot. So this is the same. Actually, no, it's not the same shot, but they did the same thing on the Kiss trash can. If you look at the Kiss trash can, it's from the same photo shoot, and they put the image on that trash can backwards too. Those trash cans go for about $400 now.
Wow.
I know a record store that has one. The guy said that he's not interested in selling it right now, but he told me that if he was to sell it, that it'd be $500. But he's not interested in selling it right now. And it's in great shape. He keeps rolled up posters in it. And it's not rusted out in the bottom. Now that's a live shot. You see how sweaty they look and how they're not front lit, how they're yellow or like the color of the stage, and Gene's just all sweaty and Paul's all sweaty. That's like a live shot. Number 41. We get Ace's base. All right. I think Ace is going to be further over. I'm not sure just yet. Number 42, Gene, blowing fire. The K. We almost have Kiss. Few things missing, like the current lineup. Few things missing. They almost have Kiss. 50% there. Another Gene shot. It's one with the bubble gum on it. Gene, 1973 was the year that all the pieces fit, and Kiss was indeed a band. In the previous bands we'd been in, it was each of us who stood out. Now it's the case where 4 people have gotten together as cohesive and incredibly tight unit, said Gene. How easy they forget. An encore shot at the end. Like I said, I think that's staged because they all look very well, not sweaty for it to be an encore shot. This will start tying Ace together right here. This is Ace's leg and part of Peter's leg. So that's going to go right there. And this goes right there. So I don't think it goes over as far as I think it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. All this is going to have to shift over. I think this is all going to go right into here. Paul on the risers. I always loved the risers. They had on the Love Gun stage, they had the risers here that came up out of the stage. And then they also had the risers that came down from up here. A lot of times they would come down those at the very beginning of the stage. So at the very beginning of the show. So this is the bottom of Gene's boot and the bottom of Paul's boot. So that's going to go right here under this one. That's right here. It's a shot of Ace, Gene, and Paul together. Like I said, I can't get enough of these Love Gun Alive 2 poses and everything. All right, this is Gene's hand right next to his crotch and the beginning of his boot right here. So that's going to go right here. So that's going to put Gene here because his hand's going to go there. His face is going to go here. I think that's going to put Paul right there. Put Kiss somewhere around in there. Yeah. Something like that. So it's shaping up. And I think this is going to be, I still don't know quite where that goes yet. I think it goes there. Yeah, because I see it's something like his arm. So I think that goes there. Another shot of Gene. Live shot. Card number 47. This is an end piece. So we'll put it down here. Another shot of Gene. This has got heavy gum residue on it. Right in that area right there. Ah, we got the last part of the kiss. This is iconic. I've seen this a lot of Paul. I've seen that one a lot. That's Destroyer Rock and Roll Over era. Possibly Spirit of 76 tour. We're going to
Don't
have
see
the
that guitar often.
No, you don't see that guitar often. That Flying V kind of. Is that what that is? You guitarists?
Yeah. Yep.
So this is going to go here. So this is going to go down here below Ace's leg. You can't quite see it. And so that's going to bring this over. And that's going to bring everything over. But I think Ace is going to have something sticking in. So I'm not going to bring this other stuff over just yet. Here is this is probably my favorite Gene card in the whole series. I love that.
Yeah, love
That's
that blood dripping down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me so much of the back cover of Alive 2. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the same photo shoot because he even has the makeup spattered up on his face like he does on the back of the Alive 2. And so this brings in Ace's hand right here. Hand on his hip. Another encore shot, card 51. And this is going to be the last part of Paul's feet. It's going to go right here next to Gene's foot. It's right here. Another shot where I just think I always thought Paul looked really weird in that one. And this is going to be, looks like it's going to be the bottom corner down here. Straight down from here. This is a good shot of Gene. I always like that with all that light and stuff. I try not to catch a glare because it's all, the card itself is already so washed out just from all the light. It's card 53. And that just looks like it's an edge. I'll stick it here. 54, Paul. And this is going to be Gene, the finish in Gene's chest. Right here. Gene's got a weird pose. Gene's kind of like doing this whole like horns flying in type of thing. He's kind of tucked in there. This is probably my second favorite Ace picture. Right there, that's taken directly off of Alive 2. It's just cropped down.
That's incredible, Brant. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that. I just think that fits him perfectly. So this is Ace's feet, so it's going to go straight down from here. This is a really cool Peter one. It's him with possibly doing a drum solo or something, or staged, and they're firing off the pyro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one's really cool. And this is Ace's eye. Starting to finish in Ace's face. Then another one I always thought of cool was Peter, where he's like standing up and playing them toms. He had so many toms on this kit. I don't know if there's a picture of it in this series, but it kind of shows from behind, and his drums was just everywhere and so spread out. And I was just like, man, how do you play all those drums so far away from you? It's an edge. So stick it here. This is another one, that photo shoot that I said that it looks like it is like staged, because it's very well lit from the front, even though Paul looks a little sweaty in this one, but you just see it has that where all the lights in the background are on, and it just has that same look as that one that we were looking at earlier. And we finally start getting some cards for Peter It's like we put down a couple of him real early and haven't put down really hardly any more. Another one of those shots of Peter where he just looks all white, even his neck. I remember seeing this picture and I'm like, did he paint his neck too? It's like, that's just the lighting. It's just washed his neck out.
And I don't think there's any cards with the drum kit up in the air with the cats.
Oh no, and I see that's a missed opportunity. There's Gene's arm. There's finishing Gene's arm out right there. So this is going to go here, here, here. I'm just going to leave those other ones off to the side. This is going to come in here. I don't want to drag these. This table's pretty slick though. All right. Okay. It's one of Paul. And this finishes up Peter. Well, part of him. He's still got a little bit of his back to go. Another one of Peter playing the drums, and he's over there on those real low big toms, above his floor toms. It's a massive kit. You can hear how big his kit is at the end of Making Love, where he does that.
Yeah.
He hits a different drum every time, and he goes all the way down through his kit. So it's like 16 drums. It's like crazy. So
can you think of what song Eric Carr does that?
I know he does it on his drum solo, but what song does he do that on? I can't remember.
I Love It Loud.
Oh, he does that on I Love It Loud?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the front of that. This is finishing Gene's leg. Gene, card number 62. And this is probably the final border, because we just got one to go right here. Great one of Ace. Showing a little too much wang for me, but, you know. This is finishes up Paul's legs. Three cards to go. It'll be two for the poster and one for an edge. Ace, live shot. Finishing up Ace's face.
My favorite Ace guitar is that one on I Was Made for Loving You video with It Lights Up.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he cut it, because I haven't seen it since.
This is a good Ace card right here. This is a great, great shot. I have a big version of this in one of my magazines. I think we saw it when we did a hangout looking at my Kiss magazines, and it was in the Grooves magazine. But yeah, that's an awesome shot.
Yeah.
Ace just looks so good in that all that blue. And this says, Ace, a native of the Bronx, joined the group because he was fantasized by a bunch of guys who really wanted to work to be a supergroup. Space Ace Frehley was born under the sign of Taurus. His music is hypnotic and pleasurable beyond compare. So that'll go here. We'll move these over. Move these over a little bit. We got one card left, number 66. Live shot. And this is Paul's belly, chest and belly. So that kind of finishes out. I'll grab this. I'll take a look at it. So there's the whole thing. like I said, I'm 52 now, and I think I've probably not worked this thing in well over 20 years. I haven't worked them since I got them, since I bought them. I said this was something that I wanted to do, and I just, never did it. I haven't
Yep, nice
done
to
it
see.
since I bought them. Probably won't do it again. I just bought these to. I pull them out. And I look at them. I'll fix that in a minute. I'll pull them out and I'll look at them, flip through them and stuff. And my wife, she's looking at me. She'll look at me like I'm nuts because I've got.
Well, it's
gloves
like a time
on.
machine when you flip through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got gloves on, and I'm like, these things, they came to me without a bunch of fingerprints on them and stuff, and I don't want to put fingerprints on them. So yeah, and I thought, I wondered if they would do something like where this would be card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they really don't do that. The card numbers are really all over the place. But yeah, I think that's really cool.
Brant, do the other Series 2 and 3, are they each 66 cards also, or don't you know? Or
I believe they are, and they
Okay.
have. I believe they are, and they have puzzles on the back of them too.
Okay.
I remember collecting Series 2, and this was back when I was a kid, and even though these things were 15 cents each, a lot of times you would go and you would get duplicates so many times. I don't know if any of y'all were young enough, or I know all of us are young enough, but if you remember going and buying the cards, and sometimes I'd go and the way I used to collect money to buy Kiss magazines or to buy Kiss cards was I would go around my neighborhood and do odd jobs. I would cut grass, but before I was old enough to cut grass, I'd go around and I would collect bottles, and I would take the bottles and I would return them for, you'd get like 5 cents.
Yeah.
So it took 3 bottles to buy 1 pack, maybe 4 bottles with tax to buy 1 pack. So just buying a couple packs for 30 cents, you had to collect, 7, 8 bottles to do that. So, and a lot of times they weren't just laying around. You hit your house up first, and you hit some friends' houses up or whatever. And a lot of times we'd pull our money, buy as many as we could. And I've told this story. We'd go sit outside the little General on the curve next to the dumpster, and we would open them up, sit there and chew our gum, and we would look at what cards we had, and then we'd sit there and make trades. And it wasn't always an even Steven. If you got an ace or if you got a Gene, you might have to trade a couple cards to get one. You might have to trade 2 or 3 Peters or a couple Pauls to get 1 ace or 1 Gene. It wasn't an even trade. So, that was back in the days and that's something that kids, I hate that they don't get to experience a lot of the things.
No.
I was talking to somebody today. It was either today or yesterday, and we were talking about how cool it would be that when Kiss re-releases a box set, say they do the solo albums. I know they've done a box set of the solo albums where they just released the solo albums, and they had, they had the poster in there and they had the dust cover in there. But we were talking about how cool it would be when Kiss does a re-release or does a box set on a album that originally had a merch form in it. And I can't remember when merch forms started. I think they started with
Did they start with Alive or Destroyer?
They started with Alive 2 merch forms.
Oh, okay.
I think they didn't start till like Alive 2. I know there was one. I know there was one in Double Platinum. There was one in the solo albums. I don't think there was one in Dynasty, and I don't think there was one in Unmasked. I think it was primarily Alive 2, Double Platinum, and the solo albums. But I just think we were talking about how it'd be cool if when they released, if they re-released the solo albums in a box set, the same way they did Destroyer, that it would be cool if they re-released the merch sheet. And I said this would piss a lot of collectors off, but if they remade some of the, and we got into this big long conversation like, wouldn't it be cool if they remade the trash can, or if they remade the Kiss radio, or if they reproduced the Kiss lunchbox, or if they reproduced the Kiss guitar, or the color forms, or the board game, the posters, the notebooks. If they reproduced them and you knew they were reproductions, you know, they didn't have a coin on it. They had,
Right.
you know, Universal or whatever. But even though the copyright could be different, but other than that, they were faithfully reproduced down to the you know, reproducing the Miko dolls. You know, they're not Miko, but they you look at them, and flaws and all, they are a classic reproduction, a true faithful reproduction of, you know, and you know they'd still charge that. God, they'd probably charge $50, $75 for the dolls, but that's still better than paying $250, $300 without a box these days. And,
Right.
but if they reproduced everything, the box, and so it was like, and we even went a step further. It's like, okay, what if the only way you could get the stuff that was on the merchandise form, you couldn't go online and buy it? You couldn't, I mean, you probably could, because somebody'd probably eventually order it and put it online on eBay or something. But the only way to get it would be the way that we had to get stuff when we were kids. That you, it would be cool that if they, if you had to order, you had to like snail mail order. You wanted the posters, you wanted this, you wanted that. You had to write your check, and you had to order it the old-fashioned way. And I was like, man, you know, that's a whole lot of nostalgia. That's a whole lot of fun right there, doing it that way and having to do it that way. That would be so cool to do that. But yeah, you know, I remember going and trading to get cards, and now, you know, we can go online and they're out there. I mean, you can go out there and you can pick up ones that you might be missing. You can pick up, you know, a card for $4 or $5. If you're just missing one card, or you got you got an ace card and it's really wrinkled or whatever. But, you know, you could pick this up. Like I said, I got a deal on this. I picked this whole thing up for like $100 like a year ago. And I just happened to be looking, and I saw that it was there and it was complete. And then they had samples there of how the condition that they were in. And they're like, you know, they're all this condition. And then when I got it in, I was just flabbergasted about how good a condition that these cards are in. And so it just kind of blew me away that they were in the shape that they were in. And so that's why I keep them in the little plastic case, and I don't take them out very often, because, you know, I want them to stay better. I wish I took as good care of my stuff when I was a kid as I do now, because I'd have about $20,000 worth of stuff right now. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good night. All right.
You too.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
Laters.
Bye.
Laters.